What is up, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. That guy over there is Brooke, and we're very excited to have a special guest with us in studio. Of course, everybody over there on the stream side or the video side can already see him. But that guy over there is a current member of your Los Angeles Dodgers bullpen. Of course, he probably should be starting, but you didn't hear that from me. He was a National League All-Star in 2018. He's a licensed stockbroker and investment advisor, but of course he's most well known for being the lead singer of an Arizona-based cover band. He's a proud owner of, I call it the best Players Weekend nickname in all of baseball. Yes, we have Chicken Strip himself here. Welcome to Blue Heaven, Thomas Ross Stripling. There you go.
What an introduction, man.
The audience is going wild, man. So first
awesome.
off, Thomas, what are you hiding?
Man, my mom's maiden name was Thomas, and somehow they thought Thomas Ross sounds better than Ross Thomas. I don't know. I was never going to be Thomas. The only person that calls me Thomas is our travel secretary. I don't know why he does that, but
what up, Scott?
Yeah, Scott Akasaki with a shout out. Yeah, I don't know why my parents did that to me. Made it really hard on standardized testing in high school. You know, I'd have to fill out my real first name. I don't know. It's Thomas.
So I'm guessing you've gone by Ross then
Forever.
pretty much all your life.
Yeah.
All right.
Not like Tommy
So you
Stripling
can
or
go-
anything
Never, never Tommy.
Yeah, you can go there. Hey, Tommy, sign my ball, sign whatever. That's what they're gonna do. That'll be the code for people who've watched this. That'll be the code for people. You have to. I think
give
you're
them priority.
legally obliged to autograph things for them at that point, or flip a bird, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, you got to start near the beginning. When did you first start playing baseball?
Yeah, that is the beginning. Okay, so I played Little League and all that stuff. I played, city ball, but I never really took baseball crazy serious. I'll try and give you the briefest version of this story as I can.
No worry, we got time.
Yeah, and I went to a Friday Night Lights high school in Texas, big 5A. Now there's now 6A in Texas, but at the time we were one of the biggest high schools in Texas. From my 7th grade to my senior year, we won state 4 times. We lost in state once. I mean, we only lost 3 games in 6 years, So football was taken very serious. I played football. I wasn't very good, but I played. And if you wanted to play football, you had to do off-season football, which is in baseball season. So I did not play varsity baseball until I was a senior, but I also played basketball. I broke my leg playing basketball, and because of that, I couldn't play a position, which I wanted to be a shortstop or play the outfield, whatever. I'd never pitched. But I had this huge brace that went from basically my ankle up into the middle of my thigh, and they were like, you can't run. What can you do? And I was like, I don't know. I can try pitching. And basically that's how I fell into pitching. And had a good senior year, not really good enough to get recruited anywhere. Ended up walking on at Texas A&M and just kind of earning innings there. Got drafted as a junior, turned it down to go back, finished my degree, got drafted as a senior. By the Dodgers, which we'll be forever grateful for because that's why I'm here with you guys today.
Absolutely.
And then, man, that's kind of the nice. Hey, we got
a couple. That's
sound.
A point right there.
Cool. So that's kind of the brief, very spark note version of how I got here today.
That's awesome. What about your favorite player growing up?
So I grew up a Rangers fan, and that was A-Rod, which I don't know if that's a super, positive.
Considering they were just here in
role
town.
model. Yeah.
Also, but
So I loved A-Rod growing up. I mean, when he was a Ranger, man, he was just killing it. And that's even Pudge Rodriguez when I was a little bit younger, into A-Rod, into Griffey. And, I'd say those are probably the 3 that come to mind.
Was there a particular pitcher that you tried to emulate growing up?
Well, not really, because I didn't pitch growing up, So when I started pitching at 18, I was, and you guys have seen me pitch, and I'm very over the top. I'm very upright, short stride, over the top. There's not a lot of people that really throw from an arm angle like me. I think someone told me this stat the other day that I pitch from the 3rd highest. I pitch as if I'm the 3rd tallest player pitcher in baseball, and I'm not, obviously. I'm very average
Chris
pitcher
Young,
height. But
guys.
my arm slot's so high that I pitch like I'm 6'8" when I'm 6'3", So I didn't really model myself after anyone. I basically was kind of just figured it out on my own, and I got to college and finally got a true pitching coach's hands on me, and just kind of developed based on the stuff that he taught me, which was to use my strengths, which are what we're talking about, the higher arm angle, which gives my fastball more angle on it, more life, and then just kind of developed into what it is.
So we progress from breaking a leg, becoming a pitcher, being drafted by the Rockies in 2011 and smartly declining, of course, getting drafted by the Dodgers in 2012 and smartly signing. You blowing out your elbow in 2014 spring training, which, of course, was awful because you were right there on the doorstep. You're coming back, nearly throwing that no-hitter in your big league debut. You got a 2018 All-Star berth and now a podcast.
Yeah. There you go.
And there's the full circle.
That's
the way you plan.
Of his entire career.
That's the way you plan before 30, like in your big league career. That's the way it all is. But what drove you to start the big swing?
Well, I had a buddy back home in Houston. His name's Cooper. He had a podcast in college that I think just kind of fizzled out. And he's always wanted to get into broadcasting. And me and him have just kind of always enjoyed kind of bantering back and forth about sports or anything in general. His about-to-be wife is my wife's best friend. So that's how we met.
Oh,
right on.
And man, we went to a Rockets game. We were a couple beers in, and we were just like, let's do this, kind of thing. And man,
which is how most podcasts start, honestly.
Within 48 hours, like we had a name, we had a logo, we had basically bought a microphone on Amazon, and we just kind of start figuring it out. And it's been a lot of fun, man. It seems, our feedback's really good, but as you guys maybe know as well, like it's tough to get people to listen. It's tough to kind of consistent for me, very tough to find time because he's got a real job. He works in oil and gas in Houston. I obviously play baseball.
So what do you do with your regular time?
And we're in separate cities, so we're trying to figure it out, times to record and things to talk about and all that. But it's been a ton of fun. It's called The Big Swing. Yeah, you can find it anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And,
that's where you make eye contact right there with that camera. It's like, listen everywhere podcasts are sold.
Big Swing. And so it's been a lot of fun. We're going to keep doing it. And, we cover a lot of Dodgers. Obviously, that's my network. But, we want to cover anything from pop culture to other sports to I'll probably even do like a finance tutorial at some point. Just try and keep it interesting and keep people, interested in what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, your last episode was really great. And it was just you and Cooper just shooting the soup up with about everything you can. We try not to curse too much on the show. We're good boys here, but it was great. And obviously everything we've heard the Cody cast. Everybody's heard the now twice released Walker Bueller cast and all that. But you guys just talking, it was really fun time. So that's always a good sign when you have good conversation on the podcast. It makes it work for sure.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man, because it seems like our feedback has been good. Now it's just a matter of how do you keep getting it out there. So I appreciate you guys letting me come on and talk about it. Absolutely. We need a setup like this, man. This is incredible. I mean, you've probably been able to hear our audio. Sometimes it's literally just me in like a hotel room. I'll put a microphone in between me and a guest. Cooper's Skyping in from Houston. You can barely hear him. Then the guest will he'll lean back. So maybe right now you can't hear me versus this, and there'll be like a 5-minute segment where I'm like, get in the microphone, talking to my.
We've had our experiences with people not leaning into the mic
knows,
for sure. We got a couple people that do that on the show.
Isn't that your favorite thing?
It's my favorite thing. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely your favorite.
Yeah, see that is we in the big leagues we would call what you just did showy. You ever heard someone like the big league is called the show when something like cool happens, you're like that is showy. Like you guys just had the ability to bring in someone from left field
3 rooms down.
Yeah, we really pride ourselves on that producer desk over there. So Ross, on your now famous Cody Bellinger podcast, as watched by many, you asked Belly about charging the mound on a hit by pitch. Very, very popular segment with the fans.
The crowd goes wild.
Very popular segment with fans. So we wanted to ask you, is there somebody in the major leagues right now, or in the past, I suppose, that you would really not like to be charged by on the mound?
Well, man, you can YouTube this. I had Giancarlo Stanton coming at me pretty hot one time, and
he's a little fella.
Somehow I missed the biggest player in the big leagues. It looks like I hit him, but I actually missed him. So maybe that's why he didn't actually come at me. That is one man that you don't want to mess with, in my opinion. I mean, if you look at that video, Austin Barnes is like basically holding him back by his belly button. He's like, "Don't do it, Giancarlo. Just leave him alone." Please. And
Please,
I'm
Mr.
like,
Stanton.
yeah, and I won't dive into what he was yelling at me. If you're a lip reader, you can check it out. He's definitely one. I mean, Aaron Judge would be another. I don't think Aaron Judge has much malice. He seems like a pretty nice dude. I'm sure you could piss him off if you tried hard enough, but he's just so big. The guy, man, believe it or not, is on our team is Russell Martin.
Ooh,
and Russell, we call him the muscle, and for a reason. He studies like jiu-jitsu and that kind of stuff. I think if he came at you, I mean, you'd find yourself face down in the dirt before you knew it happened. So there's some guys out there you don't want to mess with. Hopefully, nowadays in baseball, it doesn't happen nearly as much with the retaliating and that kind of stuff for guys getting hit. So who knows if I'll have another chance, but I'm not necessarily proud of the way I handled the Giancarlo one. I maybe would like another shot someday. Not at him, but just the whole situation.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if you want him coming at you.
We're going to take that part out too and be like, Ross Stripling calls out.
We're going to need a bigger catcher.
I don't know. I mean, I think because we've grown up on Russ Martin, so we love having him back in any capacity, but I'm pretty sure like 28-year-old Russ could have handled him.
Uncle Russ?
I mean, even now, he probably could. He just had to fight a little bit more dirty. Which he probably learned. You pick up some things in Toronto, I think.
He's kind of like our new version of Chase Utley, man. Like he just stays young. Like if you watch him in the weight room or whatever, like he's strong and he is, he's intimidating when he gets angry. And he's a guy I wouldn't mess with. So I mean, like you said, we're pumped to have him back too, man. He's been awesome for our locker room.
That's a good little segue here. We've all wondered internally and externally, posting on social media. Obviously, for the last handful of years, Chase has been the guy. He's been the clubhouse dad. Now, who really is stepping into that role?
I would say David Freese, especially.
We call him stepdad, by the way.
Yeah, stepdad. That's a good one. Yeah. And it's true because Kike was semi-attached to Chase Utley at the hip, as we saw on social media, because, Chase is an awesome leader and Kike was just taking in everything, and they were also just good friends. And Freese has kind of stepped in that regards as well. It seems like Kike has now found Freese to be his new guy to really look up to, and as well as many other people in the locker room. I mean, obviously what he's doing on the field is very impressive. We kind of thought he would just be like a play against lefties and do what he's always done, but he's taking it one step up and he's basically hitting everybody and he's OPSing at like 1,000. So it's been a lot of fun to watch, and he's the same guy every day. Some people can really ride the wave with how they're playing. When they are doing really well, they get too high, and when they're not, they get too low. Freeze, from the day he's been over here, has been the same guy in the locker room every single day, and just someone that we can all look to as a leader, and just how to play the game the right way and bring energy and all that kind of stuff.
I feel like that's something I always hear about him from anybody we talk to. It's just he's always been that guy throughout his career. So it's been cool to see him come over to the Dodgers and do what he's done.
We were all very excited as Dodger fans because we had so many years to hate the guy just because he was so good, always against us, and then everything he did in the playoffs.
St. Louis.
And then to have him come to LA, it's just cool. We get to like this guy now.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to like this guy now.
Yeah, I mean, I think someone said it the other day, I wish I could remember who, but said that there's maybe no one in the history of baseball that can focus more for, I think it's like an average at bats like 16 seconds or 14 seconds. No one in baseball can focus more than for 14 seconds than David Freese. I mean, it's like happy-go-lucky in the dugout, and like, he knows his, what he's doing. He goes about his business the right way, but he's like very, happy-go-lucky is the way I'll say it. But then like when it's his name or it's his bat or whatever, like he locks in, as we've seen in MVP, World Series MVP and LCS MVPs. I mean, he just absolutely locks in and just grinds out every at bat and takes it really serious. And that's just, something that all of our hitters can look up to for sure.
Absolutely. Great guy to have on the team. Love him. I like Freese. He's a good dude.
I hear the same things about me, honestly, but we're not making this about me.
That's a little bit
Why
different.
am I getting that look?
So, Ross, on your most recent podcast episode,
The Big Swing,
which you can find everywhere, right?
Yes.
Podcasts are sold
everywhere
for free.
podcasts are sold for free. Exactly. You and Cooper break down Muncie Gate, I think is what we're calling it.
That's a good one. I like that,
We know Mad Bum's reaction to it. As a pitcher, I'm going to go a completely different direction than you think I'm going with this. What would be your reaction if you hit a monster bomb like that?
Oh, wow.
No doubter.
I would be in so much shock. It would be the most innocent reaction, I feel like, because I would just go wide-eyed and be like, how did that just happen? Because I can barely, I got hit for in high school. Even once I was healthy and my leg was fine, I mean, they hit for me. Like, right. I've never shown a whole lot of prowess in the batter's box. So if even in BP, man, I'm struggling to get it over the fence. So I would need like a Walker Buehler 98-mile-an-hour fastball to give me a little bit of extra, oomph, and then it'd probably squeak over, and then I'd probably run around the bases in like 14 seconds. I'd just be sprinting like hands above my head, like, wow, how did that just happen kind of thing is what I think. I don't think I would pimp it because I'd just be so in shock.
I don't know.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
When a career 079 batter hits their first bomb, I would moonwalk into home plate.
Oh, you gotta chuck that bat up in the air as high as you can throw it, man.
But then you go with the most sort of armor you could get your next at bat because you're getting drilled
for sure.
Yeah.
Who is the best hitter on the team in terms of pitching staff?
Oh man, believe it or not,
Rich Hill.
yeah, Rich Hill the most entertaining, no doubt about it.
At-bats, man.
And he had basically a game-winning go-ahead hit the other day, you know. So he's gotten a lot better. We call him the scrap zone. He gets to 2 strikes like almost automatically, and then he like goes into this like we call it the scrap zone. You know, he like digs down deep, and it's super funny. Kirsch probably has the best like bat to ball skills.
Yep.
And just as Kirsch does with anything from on the field into the weight room to bunting, he just wills things to happen. It's just he's gonna get it done. But believe it or not, I would probably say Hyun-Jin has the most like raw power. Hyun-Jin was hitting balls like 20 rows deep the other day in batting practice. Hyun-Jin has the ability to move his hips kind of like no one I've ever seen. Like he can throw these flat grounds at like 20% effort, but he like gets his body moving in ways that I can't do in maximum effort. And when he syncs up a batting swing just right, the ball really flies.
You think he gets that home run this year?
Oh, man. You know what? Yeah, I'll say yes. The ball's it's about to. I think these balls are juiced, which we don't need to get into. But it's about to start getting warm. Not today, but it's getting warm outside. I think Hyun-Jin might have it in him this year.
I think it's pretty well established the balls are juiced by now. I think we've got to that point. Did you see that stat? Is like they gave AAA baseball players Major League Baseballs this year.
Yeah.
And it's like home run totals went up like 300,
triple.
like 300% up.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation, but yeah.
Chick dig the long ball, I guess. That's what they say.
That's what brings fans of games, I guess.
All right, so last year, obviously, your 2018 All-Star, you had a fantastic first half and kind of faded in the second half, which you get. It's your first time starting, extended for a while. You're seeing this first half that Hyun-Jin is putting together. One, how impressive is it? And two, what sort of advice would you have for the true Dodgers ace of 2019?
Yeah, no doubt. It's exactly what he is, man. It's so impressive. We knew it was in there. It's just a matter of keeping him healthy. His pitchability is insane. 2-0 curveballs, 3-1 changeups. And just the repeatability of his delivery and the ability to be very. I can't think of the word. Like he hides the ball. I can't think of what that word is. But deceptive is a good one. And he just keeps every hitter off balance. He struck out Mike Trout twice the other day. Just the best player in baseball. So it's just been so impressive. Man, my advice to him is really, if you think about Rich Hill to Hyun-Jin to Buehler to even Kenta, like those guys haven't really thrown over 130, 150 innings, and they're eating up innings at an extreme pace. And as the Dodgers have done since I've been here, we don't really let guys besides Clayton Kershaw go for the 200 inning mark, So I'm not really sure if we'll let him just keep eating up innings like that. It's obviously above my pay grade, but my advice to him would be like, man, just keep doing what you're doing. You can't think about it. That even though that is what happened to me, I just went out there and I just kept doing it, and things were going well. And one day I just woke up and I was totally out of gas. Yeah. And we can't afford that with Hyun-Jin, with how good he is, and we're going to rely on him into late September, October. But man, you just can't think about it, and the Dodgers will think about it for you. They'll if things keep going well and we got a 14-game lead into September, he'll go 4 or 5 innings and get out of there, and we'll go to the bullpen because there'll be 40 of us down there.
Yeah, he'll be up over 100 innings by the All-Star break. His next start will actually probably put him up over 100 innings. So
it should put his ERA down to like 1.16 by that point.
It's incredible.
It's phenomenal.
We'll cut this part if we need to, if it's not something we should be talking about. But we saw you hit the bullpen after your outing the other day. You starting Friday or Saturday?
Well, your day's off. I will say you guessed the wrong day. It'll be probably Thursday that something goes down.
I thought that was a Buehler. They're going to push.
Right.
You're
so
the guy allegedly.
Yeah. So what we're getting into is basically kind of what we just talked about, which is guys will start getting extra days, especially in this stretch where I think we got 18 in a row and then an off day and then like another 7 in a row heading into the All-Star break. So push guys back, give them an extra day. I'm still remotely built up, which is what you saw. That's why I went down to the bullpen after the game, was to basically throw another inning to stay built up. Julio's gone 3 lately, so between me and him, we should be able to get us at least hopefully into the 6th and then see where we're at. So kind of give the rotation, like we've said, man, it's just been eating up innings like crazy an extra day, and then maybe it'll pay off down the road.
Yeah, we're looking at a guy here who threw up a 2.65 ERA in his you had 6 starts so far this year. You're locked in. Clearly, you know what you're doing when you're starting. So maybe Are you going to that game?
Which game? Thursday?
Yeah.
We have a podcast that day.
So that's Bumgarner.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I can't go to
so
that
you
game.
got mad bum.
Yeah, he's gonna be looking for an ocean to hit it off.
He's taking it off. That was one of the things. I went to the game on Saturday. I was like, they need to put a little kiddie pool in behind a center field for Max.
Yeah, we thought someone brought it up the other day that we could buy like a couple hundred snorkels and put them like in the right field bleach when Muncie's up to try and like hit it into the snorkels. Yeah, I think it's probably gotten to be. I'm sure of all people. I don't think Bumgarner's really going to like come out and fight anybody or anything like that.
Right.
But I mean, the dude is one of the best postseason pitchers of all time, World Series MVP, and we're kind of throwing shade, pretty consistent shade at him. When really I don't know if we should be. So it'll be interesting to see what Thursday's like.
Yeah. He will find you.
Yeah, it's that Giants Dodgers. It's that rivalry that like has just disappeared as the Giants have gone downhill over the past couple of years. It's been as a fan, it's been kind of tough to watch because you want to see them stay competitive because you like that rivalry, you like that heat. You talk about like Puig and Mad Bum over the past couple of years, and Puig and everybody else against the Giants over the past couple of years. You like kind of seeing that as a fan, like, man, they really don't like each other. This is great, but now it's like they're at the bottom of the division and we're at the top, so we're supposed to beat them, I guess. That's all it really has become. So, I mean, in terms of him hitting that home run and that, all that going off, that was exciting to watch.
Yeah.
For sure. By the way, that was a 20-grade pimp. That was not a pimp job.
Yeah. Did you see the overlay? It took him longer to get to first base than it did Muncie. Yeah, I remember in real time not really thinking it was much of a pimp job.
He put his head down, looked up, put his head down.
Yeah, he did his normal. We call him the jazz hands.
Yeah,
he hits it. He sees it for a second, and then he like throws his bat down and gives a little jazz hand. That's a little some spirit fingers, and then he runs. Like if Muncie does anything, man, he runs the bases hard. Like he probably gives our hardest 90 of anybody we have on the team. Yeah. So I don't think anyone even after the game, I think Madison was like, we let them pip homers, let me just get pissed off. That's what I do. So
yeah, I mean it gives media something to talk about. It gives us something to talk about. That's it's a worthy topic. I mean I like the idea of people getting mad or people pimping whatever. It just makes the game more fun.
Yeah, that's what I've said too. Is that baseball in general is not a crazy, exciting, exhilarating sport, right? Mm-hmm. So fans want to see that. Social media wants that, and I think when we get to show our personalities, which a lot of times might be pimping a home run or bat flipping or whatever, I think it's good for the sport.
Absolutely. So we got to get back into the getting to know you, and we got the real hard-hitting questions here, and interlaying again more Big Swing podcasts available everywhere podcasts are sold for free, but I guess this wasn't really Big Swing. This is more social media. It's a little bit more Cody, really, because how we haven't talked about the National League MVP this much is beyond us. But a few weeks back, I believe it was you who posted the video, and you see Cody pushing his baby in a stroller. How do you feel when you break the internet for like 12 to 24 hours?
It's usually pretty fun, man. I enjoy that. That's the best way to do it is with him for sure, because he has the demographic of like the 15 to 25-year-old girls that just love him, and then he's got the baseball fans that just love him. So like I knew it was gonna just drive people wild, and so that was Russell Martin's baby. We were in Napa Valley, and he just for whatever reason took the stroller, and I was like, I got to take advantage of this, and I run up ahead and get up on a rock and like and video it, and you basically nowadays you like capture the moment, and then you sit there for 10 minutes like, man, what do I say?
Yeah.
Right, and then it just come up with a hashtag break the internet, and it did, man. That got more as a story. You can look at your insights, how many people look at them. I mean, that got like twice as many views and responses as any story I've ever had. So it certainly broke the internet.
I think that's when you text like Sue Joe or something like, hey Sue, what do I put here?
Yeah,
she's the queen.
Yeah, she's the best, man.
Of captions.
Yeah, she really is.
Staying on the same vein as social media, how in tune are you with your mentions? Like, do you stay up to date with it all? Do you look at those? Is that something that just flies through your inbox and you don't really pay attention to? What does that look like for you?
Well, I like to stay engaged as much as I can. Some days, you post something and then you just go about your day and you forget and you go back and look and you're like, all right, it's been a couple hours, maybe just let that one go or whatnot. But I try and typically, either like comments that I actually like or respond or respond to some DMs and that kind of stuff, because I mean, you guys have taken the time to reach out and follow and want to see what we're up to. So, I mean, I got the time sitting around the locker room between BP and the game, maybe respond a little bit, but it just depends, man, a little bit on the day. And then my wife helps out with that kind of stuff too, as most wives do. I'll maybe think about posting something, screenshot, and be like, should I do this? She'd be like, heck no. And you're like, okay,
appreciate you.
Yeah. And then other times when things, even it's tough for her not to respond sometimes because, for instance, I gave up 3 runs at the Giants. My first relief appearance, got the loss, and naturally fans start hammering you on social media. My wife's like, I'm going to respond to this person. I'm like, no, don't. So it goes both ways sometimes.
Everybody's very level-headed on the internet. I don't know what your experience is. But
yeah, things are well thought through on the internet.
Of course.
That's been my experience.
Us being in the business of the internet here, we see everything just gold.
Exactly. How much do big leaguers actually pay attention to things on the internet? Because it's always surprising to me to like talk to a player. They reference something like the overlay that you're talking about, where I'm like, I didn't even know people like big leaguers paid attention to stuff like that. I thought it was just us who just go through every single thing of every part of Twitter that you can imagine for baseball. But I mean, how much do you guys actually pay attention to?
We probably know more than you think. I bet we know just about everything. Especially me, where I'm kind of middle of the road as far as like how many comments I get. Like I only get maybe 40, 50 comments. Like it's pretty easy to read through those. If Bellinger comment or posts something, it might get hundreds of comments. So I don't necessarily know if he's taking the time to read each one.
Right.
But man, we know more than you think. I think back to like, what is it, Jimmy Kimmel that does like the celebrities read mean tweets thing.
Ooh, it's
like
a good series.
Yeah, I think we know just about everything that's going on, or if we don't, someone sees it and brings it to our attention. So we got a pretty good idea of what guys are saying or what social media is saying about us. But really, man, 97% of the time it's super positive. And that's the beauty of being on a team that's really good and having an awesome fan base is they support us like crazy. And every now and then we mess up and you guys want to voice your opinion, that's fine. I do it to the Cowboys sometimes or whoever's on my fantasy football team. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah. This was one that's obviously more of a throwaway question, but who has the best burner account on the team? You don't need to answer that
actually,
one.
believe it or not, I don't think we have any Kevin Durant's. So, I don't. If they have one, they're hiding it well because I don't know about it.
Those are all, according to the internet, it's all Andrew Friedman that has the burner accounts. It's like, no, that would have been Farhan because he was upset that he lost at fantasy football.
There's a couple that I just really hope are Andrew Friedman burner accounts. I know they're not, but it would be really entertaining to find out that they were.
All right, so now we have the get to know fun stuff. These are the most hard hitting, even more hard hitting questions than the last ones. What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Okay, growing up, like as a kid, like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I liked Rocket Power a lot. What was that? Like Woogity 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 Woogity. Yeah.
There you go.
That was a good one. And then I got into like Boy Meets World and Even Stevens and that era of Disney shows.
That's the what?
Yeah. Corey Matthews, Topanga. Topanga was doing it. Yeah. And then into college was like Entourage. And I really like Californication, Entourage. Those are kind of the same shows, really. Mm-hmm. Those would be the ones that come to mind.
Right. What's your favorite current TV show?
Well, man, Thrones is over, so it was obviously Thrones. Even though I was just devastated by the last season, I thought it just was crazy rushed. We won't get into that.
That's more controversial than the Juice Balls, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, both upsetting. Good question. We're in the mix for a new show. Stranger Things is about to come out. With their 3rd season, which me and my wife enjoy big time. I'm trying to think of what else is going on, man. What something like just got put on Netflix that we were gonna watch. There's a show called All American that my wife really liked. It's about a kid that plays football in
I thought that would have been about Max Muncy.
Yeah,
American Slugger right
American
now.
Slugger.
And he gets like plucked from their school and brought to Beverly Hills and tries to like fit in Beverly Hills and play football, and it's good. It's kind of like One Tree Hill meets like Friday Night Lights. Yeah, it's definitely a show to watch with your girlfriend or wife.
There you go.
Or both.
Yeah. You didn't hear that from me. Yeah. Man, yeah, that's for some reason those are the only ones. I feel like we watch TV all the time, but I can't even think of what we're watching for some reason.
Yeah, because that's one of the things we're talking about yesterday. We're prepping some of the questions and all that, and it's like, man, it's got to be tough being on the road so much, and it's like, what do I got to do in the early part of the day? I guess it's either sleep or watch Netflix.
Right. Yeah, definitely a lot of that. We're not coffee drinkers. A lot of people that are coffee drinkers, that's an excuse to like get out and go around town.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we have our like breakfast spot in just about every city now. This is my 4th year in the big leagues, so you've been to every National League team essentially 4 times now.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
we got a spot that get breakfast before the game, then get a beer after the game. Usually have like a rooftop bar in every city that we like to go to. So we got it down pretty good now.
That next episode with Ross here, it'll be Ross Eats.
Yeah.
We're just going to follow you on the camera.
Yeah, perfect, yeah.
There you
it's
go.
by division, by NL division. We're going to go with your top spots. And then they're all going to be throwaway because you're going to tell people where you're eating.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
That's
That's
right.
where you can find them.
That'd be a really good food show, actually.
Ross.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary, we on that? We're gonna. No, I'm
Camera's
getting.
on there, yeah.
I'm
I'd watch
getting
that.
word.
Netflix
I'm getting word.
special.
We're not gonna pay for that show.
Whatever. We tried.
Go ahead, man.
Is this question from you? Did you create this one?
Yes, I did.
I'm proud of this one.
Wait, no, I put it in italics.
Okay, I thought, good. I'm proud of you for that too. Which iteration of the Power Rangers franchise is your favorite?
Which generation of the
Iteration
Power
of
Rangers?
it.
Yeah,
You remember how back when you're a little bit younger than me, you're a little bit older than him, so you're right there in that weird nexus where there was like 7 different versions of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Which is just odd. Were you ever into any of that?
No, believe it or
Good
not, that's a
call.
whiff on
Good
me.
call.
I did not watch Power Rangers at all. I wasn't a Barney guy. I wasn't a Power Rangers guy. I didn't do Sesame Street. Like, there's a couple like big time hitters that I just totally whiffed on as a child.
I like that. I like that expression of it. I didn't do Sesame Street. Not about that life.
It's just too cool, man.
What about this one's probably one of the harder ones of these, but what are your top 3 movies?
Okay, yeah, great choice. So normally I go Good Will Hunting, number 1. I mean, that's like the show that or movie, if it's ever on, like I'm just going to watch it. I mean, you think about like Robin Williams in such an kind of obscure role for him that he just never did anything else like that. And then, young Matt Damon that dude just did it for sure, All right, so then from there I usually go Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, good call.
Good one.
Which I thought is great. And then third.
I'll go a different bell for that one. Give
Yeah.
it best bell. That's another point, different point.
Man, putting me on the spot. Third movie. I mean, there's a bunch that I feel like I could go to. Let's see, as I think out
Third
loud.
answer is Chocolat.
Yeah, that's a good one. And see, now you got me on Johnny Depp. So then I would think like Blow, which is I thought was a really
there
good
you
movie.
go.
But then
Okay.
dude, I like Leonardo DiCaprio. I know that might sound like kind of
The
lame,
right
but
answer.
like the right
That's the
answer.
right
Like I
answer,
really
come
like
on.
Gangs of New York. I really like Wolf of Wall Street. That's up my alley for sure.
I would imagine, yeah.
So it's I feel like I got like an easy 1, 2, and then after that I got like maybe like 7 or 8, and that are all in like that echelon of like next best.
Seems reasonable enough.
If he had Max Muncy on his podcast, he could call it The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh my God, damn it.
I'm just saying. I mean, it kind of works out kind of well.
And I'm
guys.
looking for a new co-host.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It worked out pretty well. We know your talent for baseball. Do you have any hidden talents?
Well, the stock market thing isn't really a talent, I guess, but it's certainly a side kind of hustle that most people don't have in the baseball world. I studied it a lot in school. My grandparents and my dad are both involved in the market, so just took kind of like a young liking to the stock market and do all my own money, all my own investing. Also, good chunk of my family members and a couple of friends. So I guess that's a talent. Let's see, man. You guys did bring the hard hitters. I wish I could, I've always thought, I get asked this all the time, and I've always, like, at the end, I'm like, man, I got to think of, like, come up with an answer. So when I get asked, I have it, and then either you forget or you just, like, I'm not talented.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't have any hidden talents.
None?
No.
Everyone knows your talents.
No, I would
Yeah.
be in the same. I'm a man of many talents. None of them are great.
Okay.
So like it's tough to be like, oh yeah, I really want to say like people will say I'm good at guitars. I don't think I'm good at guitar. I wouldn't call that a talent. I play a little bit. We have a keyboard in here. That's mostly because like we brought in Dieter Rule a couple of times, so we want him to play when he comes in. Which every time we always have a great concert after the stream or after the show, which I really got to fix. But yeah, I can see where you're stuck on that. It's hard to come up with a talent.
We have a great slow pitch softball team.
That's cool.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, what do you do Wednesday nights most
Yeah, we get some Wednesdays off.
There you go.
Yeah,
I don't know if
come
we're
check it
allowed
out.
to. I'm probably barely allowed to bring you. I don't know if we'll put you in a nice
If I'm
mustache.
if I'm a ringer, I don't even know what you call that. So probably not.
That's a career 079 major league.
Yeah, I
hitter
don't know.
right there,
I think
man.
I'd bring the slow pitch team average down.
It's okay, but anybody on the team, you could afford the most beer, so that's cool. If you strike out, it's beer.
There you go. That's my talent. We found it.
There it is. There you go.
Yeah, you got to go to drink.
Oh man, well, a Texas guy, that's Shiner Bach.
Yep.
So I
nice.
try and force Shiner Bach down people's throats if they don't have it. Kind of like people from the Northeast that try and do Yingling. So that would be like the beer of choice for me. Other than that, if I'm out, I try and change it up. It seems like everyone is into whiskey in our locker room. I don't drink a ton of whiskey. I try to drink a little like tequila on the rocks every now and then, but for the most part, I'll just drink a beer.
Good call.
Yeah.
Again, we got Modelo in the fridge. We know you got a game later, but nobody's watching this right now.
Wait for an off day.
This was one that she really liked. You seem like a karaoke guy. Do you have a karaoke go-to song?
Yes. So I am all right. So I sing a ton. If you were to ask someone about like what is Strip like in the locker room, they say he always sings. I just sing constantly. I think it's a mixture of like a nervous habit plus like I think I'm just a happy dude, and that's just how it comes out. So my karaoke song would be Ice Ice Baby.
Nice.
Typically, yeah. So we had a thing back in the day called Dodger Idol where rookies had to come in and sing in front of everybody, in front of the every veteran player, or they bring in the front office coaching staff. They just bring anybody they wanted that come in, and we'd come in and have to sing as rookies. And it's not even just like big league rookies. It's like if this is your first big league spring training, whatever, they're going to make you sing.
Man.
And I learned the entire song, and since then it's just ingrained in my mind, and it's usually a crowd pleaser, so I'll bring it out in karaoke.
That is absolutely, as a karaoke aficionado, I'll call myself, even though I'm not, as absolutely a crowd pleaser for sure.
Yeah.
Lightning round, what do you got for us?
Oh gosh. Okay, so we're gonna play a game of this or that, and I'm gonna name things, and you're gonna choose which one you prefer.
Okay.
Okay, so super simple. Katy Perry or Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Good call.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Yep.
Good call.
Okay. Marvel or DC?
Marvel, but really neither. The last Marvel movie I saw was the second Iron Man, so I'm like 5 to 6 years behind.
You're a little behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You monster.
Yeah, I know. I'm very much in the minority there.
That means Mickey Rourke was the last villain he saw.
Yeah.
No, this was the last villain I saw. I mean, so many good movies. Anyway.
Okay. Mac or PC?
Mac.
Ooh, that's the first wrong answer.
Really?
I have a Mac too.
Okay.
Other than this.
I was gonna
As
say
you
that's not a
pointed,
Mac.
you
Yeah,
surfed.
as he points.
I got a couple things going on.
He doesn't do smart too good. It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, now one of the most important questions. Best chicken strips, Raising Cane's or Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A for me. Ooh. Yeah. Raising Cane's is good, but you got to drown it in the sauce that they give you there. I think Chick-fil-A can just handle on its own.
There you go.
Fair.
Okay, and then Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Yeah, there we go. I saw this one on Twitter. I think someone tagged me on this one on Twitter.
Yes.
Yep.
That's a tough one. You know, your heart has to stay on Whataburger just because of where you're from. But man, I'm going to disappoint people. I don't really eat either one ever. I eat very, very little fast food. And if I were to choose one, I'd probably choose In-N-Out, honestly, because
Crowd goes wild.
Yeah, so I do like In-N-Out, but on a totally separate note, like last night or 2 nights ago, the game ended. We had Sunday Night Baseball. The game ended. I went straight to Shake Shack. So
there you go.
if that would be, I guess, my choice. If there's a third option, sorry.
I think.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, we've accepted the answer. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Pasadena's getting a Shake Shack, right, Gary? I think you know that. They're getting a Howlin' Rays and a Shake Shack.
You heard that
We're
here
moving
first.
up
There
in
you
the
go.
world.
What
Howlin'
was the
Rays.
first one?
Howlin' Rays is the chicken place that's in where is it?
L.A., isn't it?
Chinatown. It's like
They got chicken strips.
It's like a really popular,
They've been known
just
to.
like chicken
Yeah.
in general. It's like
Chicken strips.
you can get like the spiciest chicken you've ever had in your entire life.
Oh,
So I
man.
don't know if you're into spicy. I'm not, so I always get
not,
the
yeah.
level 1, and they always make fun of me for it. But it's really good.
Cool. I'll
Yeah,
check it out.
level one works. And by the way, every time you come into the game, that's usually what I yell. Whether
Yeah.
I'm at the game or in my room, wherever it's at, sad and alone. Chicken strip.
Oh,
Nice.
I thought you were saying
yeah.
level 1. I was like, it's kind of rude.
Yeah,
The nickname really caught on more than I ever thought in a million years that it would. I mean, I wanted to be strip club. I wanted to be stripper. I wanted to be, anything. And they kept banging them. They're like, no, you can't do that. And I'd be like, well, how about stripper? No, you can't do that one either. And no one calls me chicken strip. I don't even know where that came from, who came up with it. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. That's, funny. I'd like to get creative, show some personality. And it caught on. More people scream that at me in the bullpen and from the stands. And it's great. I love it. It's been a lot of fun.
People really like that nickname.
It was 1,000 times better than Corey's first Players Weekend name of Seager.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you know Seeker, man, that fits him so perfect,
Yeah.
And then I think we forced one on him last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was hurt, but I think we forced a name on him,
Yeah.
so who knows what he'll do this year.
Yeah. If he
Back
goes
to
with Siegs, I also think that's a cop-out. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I would be okay with Kyle's brother, but even so, wasn't that no?
That was
did he
Kyle.
Do that?
Kyle was Corey's brother.
I know,
Yeah.
I thought he did one like that too.
Maybe he did.
There
Maybe he
was
did
talks
last
like
year.
He
that,
should.
but still,
He should.
step your game up, Corey. Is what we're saying, and also get better, man. But it's time to read the tweets. Of course, I had to go out on the internet and ask people what do they want to ask? What do they want to know about Mr. Thomas here? What makes you tick, or your thoughts on some things? And leading off, kind of in the same vein of what we already had, Carla asked what your favorite dipping sauce is for chicken tenders.
Yeah, man, I'm super boring. Barbecue sauce. I would prefer to use no sauce. My wife is obsessed with ranch. I mean, she'll put ranch on anything.
Good. Shelby's good.
Yeah,
she's a good person.
Yeah, she's the best. But for me, it's either no sauce because, obviously a chicken strip is not a steak, but like when you put like an A1 sauce on like a good steakhouse and like, I don't know, I feel like if you make a good chicken strip, it should just taste good. But I would go barbecue sauce if I'm going to anything.
Wendy's has Sauce'em sauce. I don't know what it is, but it's good.
Sauce'em?
I'm pretty sure it's bad for you.
Yeah, that would
it's bad.
probably
It probably
sense.
clogs your heart immediately. Charles asked, what's your favorite pitch to throw when you fall behind in the count? So he asked a very boring question, but it's a fair question.
Yeah. Well, man, that's a very loaded question, believe it or not, because it totally depends on who's up to bat, what feels good that day, all that crap, that goes into pitching. But, if I were to use just one, I would say curveball. I just think if my curveball's on, I just feel more confident as a pitcher in general. And, I think that it is the pitch that I have the most success with. So if I'm down 1-0 to a Nolan Arenado, a Paul Goldschmidt, someone like that, typically you want to go with your strength, which is my curveball.
Good call.
Good call. So Frank, he sets up a scenario for us, a fun little scenario, if you will.
I like this one.
3-2 count, 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth. Cody Bellinger's up.
Oh, yeah.
What are you throwing him?
Oh, man. Wow. Great question. I have never scouted Cody because he's my teammate, so
Right.
I've never dove into what Cody's weaknesses are, not that I think there's many of them. I would probably venture to throw a changeup if I were to guess and just hope that he's geared up heater and rolls it over, or at least hits something to the right side, because I'm sure as a Dodgers we would be shifted. And, so that would be where my head's at. But there's also the whole idea that, he can get to it, pitch up and in, like hard up and in. He can really get to it and hit it 400 feet, as we've seen. But sometimes I think if you've set up Cody well, that you can beat him up and in. But it has to be set up just right. So I don't know if I had done enough work in that 3-2 at bat yet, but I'd probably throw him a changeup.
Good answer.
Man,
Good
you get
answer.
in
Risky
front.
business, but good answer.
I mean, we know these Dodgers these days. The changeup seems to be the ones that's kind of beaten us of late.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good call. But we're gonna fix that. I promise that. Me as the current new hitting coach.
The hitting coach.
I'm gonna fire Brownie myself.
Yeah, you got this. You're
I mean, I love Brant Brown. He's a friend of the show. But I'm just saying that you can't have so many hitting coaches. I'm gonna take his job.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Of course,
we
it
won't
makes
make
sense.
the postseason for the first time.
This might be the hardest hitting question of the entire day.
I love how many hard hitting
Yeah,
questions
they've all
we've
been
prefaced
hard-hitting.
here.
This is Blake, the writer, right? This is one of our
Our own
writers. His name's Blake. He asked, "Is a hot dog a sandwich?"
Okay.
That's the biggest question of the year, I think.
I got asked this a while back, and I guess it was I'd never heard it before, and then it turned into like this huge debate in the locker room. I guess it's been a debate ongoing for years. I said no, it's not a sandwich, and I didn't do any research to look into what a sandwich actually is. But to me, a sandwich is a bun with either meat or PB&J or whatever it is, and then another bun on top. A hot dog to me doesn't seem to fit that bill, so to me it is not a sandwich.
It's an open-faced sandwich to some.
So
Yeah.
is a burger a sandwich?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Oh wow, that
Oh
rocked
my
my
God.
world. Yeah, I guess a burger's a sandwich.
It's
That's
simple.
it for us.
It's simple science.
We're not getting past this one, I don't think.
Chase has a softball here for you. Chase, wonder who the funniest guy is on the team.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Kike comes to mind as being obviously the most funny. I think you guys see that on his social media and stuff. I mean, he just is full of energy, and he's very creative in what he does. I mean, it seems like every day he's got like a new bit that is entertaining and funny in its own way. Sneaky funny is Bellinger. I think it's because he's just kind of he's just so happy-go-lucky, and the things that come out of his mouth are just so innocent that they're hilarious. Kershaw is really funny. You know, Kershaw, man, what you guys see when he's on the mound is just like assassin mode. But Kershaw is really a very man, I keep using happy-go-lucky because I can't think of another term. But like Kershaw is very I don't want to say soft's not the right word either, you know, but like
Yeah, he's pitching today.
Yeah,
He's gonna get you.
definitely soft is not the right word to use for Clayton Kershaw. But man, like he is very, very involved with his teammates, and obviously you see the stuff he does off the field, and I know that doesn't sound like it's funny, but like he goes about it in a very fun and very like energetic, smiley way that is just very polarizing. Like I've come to really, really appreciate Clayton Kershaw as a teammate and as a friend, because think about the pressure that's on him. Like if he gives up 2 runs, I mean, that he feels like he failed. When if I go out and go 7 innings, 2 runs, I'm like, heck yeah, like what are we doing after this?
Going to Shake Shack.
Yeah, going to Shake Shack. So
sponsored? No,
yeah.
sponsored.
So I mean, I think to be able to come to the field every day with basically a first ballot Hall of Famer is something that you don't take for granted. I know I've done totally AWOL on this question, but he is funny, and but the answer is Kike. Back to my original answer, I should have just said Kike and moved on, but that's the answer.
I'd say with Clayton, you could probably pin his personality to like the ping pong tournament. That really feels like who Clayton is. He's the dude who wants to wear this stupid getup and just laugh at a bunch of his buddies.
Yeah, and be competitive at the same time, because he competes at everything he does every day, and so that brings out like his competitive juices plus his fun side of his personality, and he gets to play maybe what he loves the most in the whole world, which is ping pong.
But he has to pick a new teammate this year. It can't be Austin again. That's my rule.
Just because?
I mean, I have no say in this, but he keeps going to Barnes.
Yeah.
He loves Sam.
His battery mate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it.
Man. Go back to Martin. Like the old days.
Oh, throwback. That's how he's going to win it.
Did you happen to read the Father's Day article?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
really good. Yeah.
I sent it to my wife. I sent it to my mom.
Yeah.
It's got to read this.
Yeah, that one and the Rich Hill one, man.
Yes.
If you guys haven't taken the time, they're both worth reading. They're great.
Very good reads. Excellent reads.
So this last question we have from the tweets. Do you want to read it, or you want me to do it?
Oh, it's read as a stream of thought, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you several questions in a row, but apparently I'm not allowed to ask you them one at a time because that was her request.
Yes. This is from Nerdy Dodger Tatiana over on the internet. This is gold.
Tatiana asks, now that Game of Thrones is over, what is he watching? Did he read the books back when he used reading to distract from Tommy John? As a pitcher, does he prefer long relief versus coming in for a batter or two? What is his favorite dinosaur?
What is my favorite dinosaur?
That's the one that caught on.
They were all super related, and then all of a sudden, what's my favorite dinosaur?
It's so good.
Man, that was all in one tweet?
That was one tweet.
Wow,
I think she
impressive.
used the character limit for sure on that one.
Okay. No, I did not read. I read the first George R. Martin book, and believe it or not, man, the books are not for me. They're just super descriptive. They're like 1,000 pages. They're like, his jacket was black and furry, and it was also black, but then the fur was showing and glistening black, and you're like, okay, I get it. He has a jacket on. Like it's just a page of describing the guy's jacket.
I like that.
And so the books, and I read a ton, and those books just weren't for me, but the show obviously was. So I don't even remember what the question was. My favorite dinosaur.
There you go. That's good.
I like the ones with the really long necks that eat like the tops of trees.
Giraffes.
They seem nice. Yeah, giraffes. The giraffe-looking dinosaur. And then I'm trying to think of what the beginning of that question was.
What are you watching now that Game of Thrones is over? Which I think
we
we
got
pretty
into
much
that.
already covered that. But it was
a good long question.
It was
It's a great question.
It was such a question is rough to call it, but it was a beautiful word vomit stream of consciousness.
She wanted to know everything about you in one tweet.
Yeah.
So
I hope we covered it.
Yeah, it was going to be the one opportunity to get at least somebody she sort of knows to talk to somebody they just sort of know now. So there it is.
To me, it sounded like she maybe handed her, like at the end there, she handed her phone to like her 3-year-old daughter or something. She was
She's like, you got anything to add?
Yeah.
She's like, dinosaur. Yeah. Perfect.
We have now I'm going to leave the rest out. Those are for the next time because we got to get you judging your teammates from the Diamond Gala because that was gold.
Great.
I think my main question from there is CT3 forever destined to be alone?
I don't know, man. CT, he's old school, man. He like refuses to get on dating apps. He wants to go meet a girl in real life, which I respect. But we have a busy life, and CT also is a very quiet man. So it seems like he's got some things working against him. But no, man, I think CT, there's the right girl out there for him. He's just got to find her.
Ladies.
Yeah.
So, are you offering him up?
Yes. I am personally, I'm going to be his hitch. It's not going to work very well.
Yeah.
You're going to get long run-on questions, but it's going to be great.
Just like that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Ross Stripling. We thank you so much for coming out, man. Everybody already knows it, but go ahead and shout out your socials and then, of course, Big Swing stuff.
Right, yeah. So my Instagram is @Ross Stripling, or maybe Ross_Stripling. Yeah, and then the podcast is called The Big Swing. You can definitely get it anywhere where podcasts are free. I believe that is what we were saying. iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, all those good things. And basically, we talk a lot of Dodgers, and we talk about anything baseball, anything pop culture. We'll get into a bunch of stuff. So appreciate you guys that are already listening. If not, please tune in. And this was an absolute blast, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, and I look forward to coming back.
And now he's officially a friend of the show.
Yeah, that's a great shirt.
Awesome. An official workout shirt for you.
Yeah.